That...
This mission is gonna cost you dearly, and the world's gonna be coming after you.
Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning.
Dead Reckoning Part 1 is the two-part finale for Tom Cruise's portrayal of the secret agent Ethan Hunt. The 7th installment in its action spy series is the penultimate finale to the blockbuster franchise, captivating all the high-octane stunts, action set pieces, and cinematography that Top Gun Maverick did, with Christopher McQuarrie back in the director's seat. With the amount of death-defying stunts Cruise has undertaken himself, whether it's holding his breath for over 6 minutes, climbing the Burj Khalifa skyscraper, or hanging outside a plane, Tom, now at the age of 60, is the dictionary's definition of an action man. And in Dead Reckoning, they have upped the ante. The stakes are bigger, with the world at stake. The deadly race around the world begins. Set to release on July the 12th, Cruise revs it up with his most dangerous stunt ever. This is a quick recap of the story of Ethan across the Mission Impossible franchise. 6 movies in 7 minutes.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it.
Mission accepted.
This message will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
The franchise begins in 1996, begins with a failed mission in Prague where Ethan's entire team is killed while attempting to retrieve a list of undercover agents known as the Not List, including his mentor, Jim Phelps. As the only survivor, Ethan becomes the prime suspect.
You're the killer!
Disowned by the IMF, Ethan must now prove his innocence and uncover the true mole within the organization. With the clock ticking, he recruits an eclectic team, including a computer expert, Stickell, and a skilled thief, Franz Krieger, and a surviving IMF agent, Claire Phelps.
Wake up, Claire! Jim's dead!
Ethan's pursuit leads to a dangerous arms dealer, Max, to strike a deal to recover the real Not List by infiltrating a heavily guarded CIA headquarters in Langley, where we get the first iconic heist scene. Ethan discovers that the true mole is Jim Phelps, Ethan's former mentor, who faked his death and now suspects Krieger to be an accomplice. Ethan gets the whole cast on board a high-speed train to hand over the Not List to Max. He disguises himself as his mentor and tricks Claire Phelps to reveal the truth, as she is also a mole. The real Jim shoots Claire and tries to get away with the help of Krieger, but exploding chewing gum saves the day. On to the next mission. Ethan is called back into action, where he learns that the dangerous biological virus weapon known as Chimera has fallen into the wrong hands, with the power to infect and kill millions of people, making it a global threat, a pandemic.
Yes, due to COVID.
And the mastermind in possession of the weapon, another mole, a rogue IMF agent, Ambrose. Ethan teams up with the stunning black cat thief who happens to be Ambrose's ex-girlfriend, Niall, by giving her a taste of what she'd been missing out from the IMF agency.
You slept with her? Nice!
In search of Ambrose, the duo head to Sydney, Australia and find the virus in a lab before being ambushed by Ambrose, and then Naya injects herself with the virus. Naya, captured by Ambrose, is let loose in the city, unveiling his sinister plan to trigger a global pandemic and selling the cure to the highest bidder. Ethan comes to the rescue, where he's captured by one of Ambrose's henchmen. He is executed, but wait, these IMF face masks are really way ahead of their time. Ethan escapes with the cure, taking a page from the Matrix, rocking a black leather jacket and some killer shades. Some slow motion captures later, Ambrose is shot dead, and Stickell cures Naya in the nick of time. Ethan had left the IMF and instead trained and mentors the young recruits. He gets engaged to Julia Mead, who is unaware of Hunt's history as a field agent and attempts to live a life of normality until one of his pupils, Lindsay, gets captured. Hunt agrees to join the mission and help rescue her, recruits a team, Declan Gormley, Zen Lay, and Stickell. They rescue Lindsay and recover 2 laptops, but Hunt discovers she has an explosive implant and it goes off. The team disobey orders and seek to capture the supposed mastermind, Davian, in Vatican City. But he escapes as the convoy is ambushed. Julia is kidnapped and Ethan is given 48 hours to recover another biological weapon named the Rabbit's Foot, where he is captured by the IMF. He is interrogated but escapes with the help of his best friend, Musgrave. The Rabbit's Foot is located in Shanghai, and Ethan and his team travel to China and attain the weapon. At the exchange point for his wife, Ethan is tranquilized, and like Lindsay, an explosive is implanted in his head. Waking up into another interrogation, watching his supposed wife held at gunpoint, Davian shoots Julia. But wait, these masks. It was Davian's head of security, executed as a ruse to validate the Rabbit's Foot. What? Musgrave is a mole? They're not best friends anymore.
You're not my best friend.
Ethan escapes to Julia's location, but Davian is waiting and triggers the implant. Ethan rescues Julia, kills Davian, and deactivates the explosive. Julia kills Musgrave, and now she knows everything about Ethan. Now for the search of nuclear launch codes. That's where Fast 8 got it from. An IMF mission to retrieve codes out a rogue operative codenamed Cobalt. Ethan's task to learn on Cobalt has him incarcerated in a Moscow prison. He then escapes and infiltrates the Kremlin for more information. The mission is compromised, with the Kremlin being bombed, framing the IMF and triggering a global manhunt for Ethan. Hunt is forced into hiding. Initiate
Ghost Protocol.
Ethan then recruits an Avenger, IMF Secretary Aide Hawkeye. A bit of Scooby-Dooing later, Cobalt has a name, Kurt Hendrick, who is in hands of the nuclear launch codes and plans to make a trade with an assassin at the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. Tom Cruise scales the tallest building in the world and lures the parties disguised as the agreed stakeholders. The assassins learn of the deception before being Chun-Li'd straight out the window, though Hendricks himself was also in disguise and escapes through a sandstorm. In Mumbai, Hendricks initiates a deal with the Bollywood actor Anil Kapoor.
What?
Then launches the nuke towards San Francisco. Luckily, Ethan saves the day by aborting the missile and watching Hendricks fall to his death, dying for nothing. Ethan unveils his wife is safe, new life, and in witness protection. Luther Stickell arrives with a new mission.
Their targets unknown. Your mission.
Teased in the last film,
Syndicate has
the new
control.
terrorist group, and Ethan is on a mission to prove to the CIA their existence. He infiltrates a weapon exchange and manages to hang out of a jet with his fingertip before being captured by the syndicate in London, but escapes as he usually does, with the help of former MI6 agent working deep undercover as a syndicate operative, Ilsa Faust. Back in Washington, the director of the CIA, Alan Hunley, has the IMF disbanded, leaving Ethan with no resources, just like John Wick being
Excommunicado.
Ethan now on the hunt of the leader of the syndicate, former MI6 agent Solomon Lane. He locates Lane and tries to stop the assassination of the Chancellor. Looks like he succeeded, but sadly he failed, and he is blamed and on the run again. Brandt, aka Hawkeye, recruits Stickell to track down Hunt before the CIA does. Hunt's team, including Ilsa Faust, secure an encrypted file which has access to a lot of money, £2.4 billion. Ilsa Faust goes rogue with the data file. Where have we seen that before?
Dominic Toretto just went rogue.
Don't worry, Benji has a copy. Ilsa's data gets wiped by her handler, Atwell. The syndicate capture Benji and Ilsa and give Ethan a little hostage trade deal call.
Let's talk trade-off.
Ethan and his team manage to expose the syndicate at the London charity auction, apprehending both Solomon and Lane, and IMF are reinstated.
Welcome to the IMF.
Ethan is now faced with his most perilous mission yet, retrieving stolen plutonium cores used to create nuclear weapons. But he is intercepted by the new terrorist group, the followers of the syndicate, working for unknown extremist John Locke, called the Apostles, who have Luther Stickell as hostage. Ethan saves Luther while the Apostles attain the plutonium.
Where's the plutonium?
Ethan interrogates a nuclear weapons expert to unveil Locke's next move, tricking him to believe Jerusalem, the Vatican, and Mecca have been attacked. The team hunt for Locke and the plutonium cores, teamed up with Superman, the ruthless CIA agent August Walker, and he has a moustache. Cavill and Cruise halo jump into Paris to infiltrate a nightclub to stop an exchange between Locke and arms dealer Alanna, the White Widow, Max's daughter from the first Mission Impossible, leading to a legendary restroom fight where Henry Cavill reloads his arm, and supposed Locke is killed by MI6 agent Ilsa Faust from Rouge Nation, whose allegiance is still unclear.
Whose side are you on?
Ethan warps into Locke
Gotta be this guy for 5 minutes.
to meet up with the White Widow for the exchange, and Ethan is then informed, for the stolen plutonium cores, he must turn over Solomon Lane. Hunt and Walker attack a convoy, holding Lane, and deliver him to London, where Walker is tricked by the team to unveiling he is Locke himself, and his backup plan having a few inside men from the Apostles in the CIA working under his command. Walker manages to escape in a helicopter, threatening Ethan's ex-wife, Julia, in the protection program. The team track down Lane and Walker to a medical camp where Julia is working as a support worker. The villains activate the bombs and plan to detonate at the medical camp, maniacal like the Joker when he blew up the hospital. The timer begins and Ethan trapezes across the helicopter to attain the detonator. After a cinematic action masterpiece, the team, with the help of Julia, manages to defuse the bombs, overthrow Lane, and Ethan secures the detonator from Walker by latching a helicopter hooked to his head.
Get over here!
Lane is captured once again and handed over by the White Widow to the MI6. Julia thanks Ethan for giving her the life she currently has, and that's mission complete. Next, Dead Reckoning Part 1. If you're liking the content, don't forget to like and subscribe.